I am so ecstatic to inform you guys that the real captain of the New York Mets is returning to the squad, and that is my boy Jesse Winker. Like I said, 1 year contract. We're going to break down what this means for the Mets lineup going forward and their approach to free agency with the bats and position players along with that. What is going on, everybody? You are locked into this new edition of Mets Digest with your host, Michael DeAngelo. As you see on the screen, before I get started, we are at a little over 3.6K subscribers. I gotta ask that you guys please subscribe down below. All things Mets baseball. Anything roster news, trade updates, free agency rumors, free agent signings, reactions, breakdowns, stats, going through all of that. This is your one-stop shop for everything Mets baseball. Me and Flobo boys have been on top of everything so far this offseason, and we hope to continue that for you guys so you guys don't have to go through scrolling through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok all day and night long to figure out what's going on in New York Mets world. We put it all here in one spot for you. So subscribe down below to keep up to date with everything. Now let's get started. And like I said, Jesse Winker returning to the Mets on a 1 year, $8 million contract with a $1 million signing bonus. Here are his stats of last season. Remember, he was a deadline acquisition for the New York Mets. Was a rental, technically a rental, but now he is returning for his age 31 season. Listed as an outfielder and a possible DH candidate for our lineup this year. And I mean, safe to say he earned it. I mean, when you look at what this guy did in the playoffs for us last year between the Brewers series, coming through in extra innings, and the Phillies series, especially during our time at home at Citi Field, what he was doing at the plate. I mean, it was kind of just inevitable that Jesse Winker was going to return to the Mets. I know it seemed not so likely, especially with the addition of Juan Soto at first. But, of course, you're going to need your bench bats. You're going to need your platoon guys. You're going to need, a designated hitter. And Jesse Winker is definitely fitting of that regimen. But look, I am extremely glad that he is back. People online are starting to channel old Will Pons days and be like, "Oh, we're going cheap on a designated hitter." Look, guys, this is far from the last move that they probably make bat-wise. This does not mean that Jesse Winker is our starting designated hitter for this season. So many guys are still out there. I think the other day it was reported it was over 138 veterans are still out on the free agent market. So this is far from the last move that they made. We're not out of money. $8 million is nothing for Steve Cohen and the Mets front office. But you're gonna need depth in some sort of fashion. Look, Brandon Nimmo, Jose Siri aren't going to be out there for all 162 games. I mean, we know Brandon Nimmo with his injuries. If you guys aren't familiar with Jose Siri either, he's not the most durable outfielder that there is out there. But, it would be nice to, have Brandon Nimmo back in center field on some days and have Jesse Winker in left. You're going to want, Jesse Winker at your DH on some nights. And, when lefties come up, you're going to need another guy at that designated hitter. You can't have Jesse Winker go lefty on lefty all game long. So, I mean, look, you guys know me, how much I'm a fan of our young prospects. Our number 6 ranked prospect, Ronnie Mauricio, you guys know I'm very high on him. I still think he should be a big candidate for spring train or for the designated hitter spot. I think that's a spot he'll definitely be trying out for this offseason. But look, we're still probably looking for a big right-handed bat, and we already know Pete Alonso is that big right-handed bat we are looking at. Now, if you guys want more updates on that, check out Flobo's last video about that. We know now that it has been reported that the two sides are separating further and further as time goes by. But to give my reaction on it, I mean, just take a look at what happened in 2015 with the Yoenis Cespedes free agency campaign. When he was first pronounced a free agent, it was pretty unlike, it was the same thing. Like, sides were close at first, and then they started growing apart. and then he ended up re-signing anyway. It was reported straight up by writers that the Nationals that he was either going to go to the Nationals or the Yankees on a 6-year contract. That the Nationals offered him a 6-year contract with a ton of money, and he ended up just going back to the Mets. And it was reported that like it was unlikely that he would resign. Towards the end of free agency, it was reported that, and then he ends up resigning. So don't believe it until you see it. I'm just here to report things for you guys. I'm not here to say what is actually going to happen, what is actually not going to happen. But I'm just saying, hold your breath. Continue to hold your breath, because we've seen this time and time again with other free agents like Yoenis Cespedes, but even modern day free agents. Just wait, because teams can bail out on players in a split second, and we have no idea. So look, we're still looking for a big right-handed bat. Pete Alonso is still out there. I'm sure they are still in contact with him, but obviously we have been in contact with other possible first basemen. Of course, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who I made my last video on, is a possible candidate that could be that full-time DH. If Mark Vientos is moving over to first base, then Guerrero would probably be mostly a DH. So that is kind of a candidate that you can have, and Winker can platoon that every once in a while and kind of be just that backup corner outfielder. But I like the signing. He was like our spirit animal in the second half of last year's playoffs. I mean, all the memes that came out, in extra innings, him scoring, an insurance run in extra innings, slamming the helmet down during his time at going back to Miller Park or whatever it's called now. I have no idea. That was his return, and came up big in the Phillies series. If you don't think Jesse Winker deserves to be back on this team and that we should be getting other players, I don't know what to say to you about a fan. I mean, this guy just brought the spirits to a whole new height, even after what Jose Iglesias did. And, he was just a perfect addition to our locker room, and I'm so glad he is back on this team. Now, continuing on with the conversation of the rest of the lineup, we know now, like I said, Ronnie Mauricio could be a possible DH, besides Jesse Winker. It is going to be a battle all spring training long. Positions are going to get fought for all of spring training. Mark Vientos has to prove that he can play first base if Pete Alonso or Vladimir Guerrero Jr. or whoever ends up not being here. He has to prove during spring training that he can play first base. And with third base, we know Brett Beatty is going to be trying out for the Major League squad this year after pretty much spending all of last year in AAA. Luis Angel Acuna has now been brought up in conversations about possibly manning the hot corner. Me personally, I would not like that. I would like him either at second base or in center field, where he has more experience. And then besides from that, obviously Ronnie Mauricio, who we got a report from yesterday from Mike Puma that he is continuing his knee rehab, but it's possible he won't be ready for the start of spring training. Mets officials are taking it day by day with him. So Ronnie Mauricio was playing Dominican Winter League baseball before he tore his ACL. He was, the Mets front office informed him that he should not be doing that, but because of financial concerns with him and his family, he decided to play and then tore his ACL. I think he was playing right field or something. Why is Ronnie Mauricio playing right field? I have no idea, but that's how that happened. Now we're here. We're waiting on the much anticipated return of him. He's currently ranked our number 6 prospect. But that's what I'm saying. If he's really slow to get back up and going, and things are just getting taken day by day, it's possible that he might not be ready for spring training. It's still possible that he can be, but, we don't really know. But that's why I'm saying that it is a great opportunity for him to win the DH spot so that, we could take it easy on him his first season back, that he doesn't have to go out and play defense, after he's done hitting. He could just focus on his hitting the whole time, especially since he's a switch hitter and can hit from both sides of the plate. He could be that full-time DH and be there every single night because there's no issue with him, righty-lefty wise. So that is my opinion on it. And I really hope he is ready for spring training so he can prove to everyone how much of a generational prospect he really is. But that is all I have for you guys here today on Mets Digest. So glad Jesse Winker is back. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about all of this and the lineup going forward. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day, y'all.